and welcome to this very special Hangout on Air from Suntico for companies that use Sage 50 accounting software. Today, we're talking about using Microsoft Power BI for sales reporting and indeed for other reporting and analysis from your Sage 50 accounting data. This, I confess, is a preview of what's coming. So at the end of this Hangout on Air, if you like what you see and if you would like to participate in our forthcoming beta program, then you can, and I will provide you details of how to participate in that. And your participation in this program will be free, but places are limited. So please register your interest with us if you would like to partake. My name is Hugh Johnson. I'm Head of Business Development at Suntico, the company that is bringing you a connection between Microsoft Power BI and Sage 50 accounting. If you like this Hangout on Air and would like to share it with your friends and followers on your social networks, please do so. If you'd like to get in touch with me after this Hangout, you can, of course, via the normal social channels or by email at hugh.johnson@suntico.com. So, really, on this Hangout on Air today, what I would like to do is address three main questions. The first is, why are we doing this? Secondly, what is it like? And I think the best way to do that is to give you an illustration through a very quick demonstration of Microsoft Power BI. And finally, how can you get started? Specifically, actually, how can you get started with our free beta program? So firstly, why are we doing this? It's very simple, because if you look around most implementations of business intelligence, an awful lot of them struggle with the data. And at the end of the day, any reporting, any analysis, any business intelligence in any company is all about the data. And if you don't get the data right, it doesn't matter how pretty your charts and graphs are. And we at Suntico are painfully aware of the difficulties and the challenges that it takes for a small to medium-sized business to implement a reliable and robust business intelligence system for the company. And it's all about delivering that data into the hands of the people that need it most. And that's the problem that we're trying to address. And what Suntico is a cloud platform that connects people that need the data and the data. And the way it works is through installing a smart Suntico connector onto your local Sage server, and that synchronizes your Sage data up into a secure cloud database through which then we connect Microsoft Power BI. And from there, anybody within your organization, subject to your own security preferences and privileges and so on, anyone within your organization can get access to that data, access to the reports, and it's all based on your live Sage 50 accounting data. So that's what Suntico is, and Suntico facilitates that connection and makes it really easy for you. We're also doing a number of other things, because what we're doing, we're not just providing you with access to your Sage 50 data in Microsoft Power BI, but through a relationship with our friends at gopowerbi.com, we're pre-populating a Microsoft Power BI workspace for our Sage 50 customers with a set of standard reports and templates that we feel that you might find useful, and that the guys in gopowerbi.com know from their vast experience in this area are reports that are highly relevant to many companies that would use Sage 50 accounting data. So at the end of the day, actually what we're trying to achieve is a single click and run solution, a simple click and run solution for companies that use Sage 50 accounting, so that you can be up and running with a cloud-based business intelligence solution, a modern solution that is accessible through any web-enabled device, or indeed through native apps on iPads and iPhones and other smartphones and tablets in a matter of minutes. And that's what we are achieving with our friends at gopowerbi.com. And the reason we're doing it is because, as I say, the most valuable data in your organization is so often disconnected from the people that need it most. And if you think about it in a small business, and any small to medium-sized business, the most valuable activities within the company typically either start or end in the accounting software. And that's where your hardest and your most accurate and your most reliable data tends to be within the organization. So you may have seen many different business intelligence products before, analysis products and so on. And yes, they are pretty. And yes, they provide some nice, pretty charts. But what we're delivering to you is not just a pretty chart. We're delivering a pretty chart, in fact, multiple pretty charts that are published and populated with your own Sage 50 data. And as you update your Sage 50 system, so too are these pretty charts updated with your data so that you can get accurate information in a way that is easy to consume for the different people across your business. So let's take a quick look at what that might look like. I'm logged on here to Microsoft Power BI, and this is a preview of the kind of thing that you will expect from us and our friends at gopowerbi.com. On the left-hand side, what we will be providing is a set of different dashboards, depending on the options you take up with us, a set of different dashboards, for example, cash flow runway, customer profitability, profit and loss, sales analysis, Sales Cockpit Pro. These are all different standard reports that will be pre-configured based on your Sage 50 data. But what I want to do now is just show you very briefly some of the power that resides within Microsoft Power BI. And I think by looking at this, you'll see quite easily why we chose Power BI as a platform to deliver this analysis for you. So we're logged in here, and I'm looking at some sample data for retail sales, and this is actually data provided by Microsoft. And what it is, it's based on real data, and it's based on a retail organization that has 2 different chains and a total number of stores of 104 stores split across multiple countries. And what I'll do is I'll just take a very quick tour so you can get a flavor of the kind of data and a kind of presentation that's available within Microsoft Power BI, because it truly is very, very powerful. So firstly, what we'll do is we'll just drill down into this tile here on the dashboard that says total stores. You see we've got a total number of 104 stores, which is a mixture of new and existing stores. And as I drill down, what I see is we've got last year's sales and this year's sales compared by chain. We've got Fashions Direct as one chain and Lindsay's as another chain. We've got 10 new stores. We've got 104 stores in total. And the data we're comparing will be sales, units, gross margin, variance of this year against last year, and as well as some new store analysis. And one of the things I really like about Microsoft Power BI is if you click on an element within the presentation, it changes the context of everything that you're looking at. So what I want to do is I want to drill down to Fashions Direct. So if I just click on Fashions Direct, what you might have missed there is that all the charts and all the graphs and all the information presented on the screen changes. I'll just repeat that so you can see. So the total store count drops from 104 to 37, but you've got 10 new stores there. We saw that the sales variance analysis by district also changed. Again, we just take a quick look as I drill down to Fashions Direct. And also the map showing you where these stores are also changes. It's a little bit hard to see on this particular map because we're zoomed out at a kind of global level. But you do also see that changes as I click on that. Now, if we drill down and just take a look at this chart here, and we see sales variance year on year, what we can see, firstly, the top performing district is district number 1. Sales down 4.5% compared with last year, but still the top performing district. Okay, and then we see this district number 2, where there's very little sales variance, down a little bit, but kind of holding its own. And what we see in the bottom left-hand corner are 2 districts, District 3 and District 4, where the performance really isn't as good as it should be. So let's drill down onto sales district number 3. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill down to another tab where we can see the district sales in more detail. And what we can see in this particular sales analysis within this district is that we can see months on months, actually we're performing pretty badly, with a slight improvement against last year, just in the month of March, and a tiny bit in February and May. And the other months, particularly January, April and June, have really been terrible months for this particular district. And we can drill down further into and have a look at the product categories. What we can see is certain product categories are performing well. We've got accessories, which are up on last year and performed particularly well in February and March. Okay, and we've got our big selling categories like home and menswear is pretty well the same as as well as shoes, much the same as last year, not much change. What we see though is this element, women's wear, is absolutely tanking. Now let's just drill down, take a look at that and see what that means. And what we see straight away on this graph is that every single months on months, the women's wear in this district has underperformed last year and underperformed the rest of the business by a significant margin. So this tells us straight away the main area to focus in within the business. Just in the interest of time, there's a couple of other things I'd like to show you. If you go back up to the dashboard, one of the things that impressed me most when I looked at Microsoft Power BI was what I call the natural language search. So I drilled that down on this year's sales, and it's pre-prompted me with a question. So if I just start typing this year's sales by district manager, there we go, and it anticipates what I'm going to ask, rather like a Google search, and just it knows the context of the data and it just presents it there to me. If I want to say this year's sales by, say, zip, it recognizes the word zip and it knows that's a geographic thing, and it presents me with a map. And if I actually wanted to drill down further and do zip and chain, see on the map straight away it separates out between Lindsay's and Fashion Direct. So that's just a preview of the kind of power that's available within Microsoft Power BI. And the really nice thing is that that's available as a native app on your iPad, a native app on your smartphone. So as your key executives are out of the office, they can get access to the data whenever they want. And we take responsibility for publishing the data from your Sage 50 system into Microsoft Power BI, and you don't need to worry about that. So, as you see, when we're looking at Microsoft Power BI connected to your data, it's not just a pretty chart. It's a pretty chart that's published full of your data. So, how do you get involved? If you like what you see, it's really simple. You just come to our website, and there we have a page where you can register now for early free access to our beta. And as long as we're in the beta program, it'll be free for you to use. And if you participate in this, we will also offer you an incentive to stay with us as a customer as we go into mainstream commercial use of the product. Where can you find this? It's very simple. Go to www.suntico.com /power-bi. I would like to thank